Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Because I can't hear me. Now I know you can hear me. Greetings, salutations, instant reaction. So we're not in the friendly confines of the normal office space, but instant reaction. So we're gonna instant react to that game we just watched, and make sure I'm positive today. But it was fun though. If you listen to me, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely told y'all this was gonna be the best atmosphere and probably like your best value pick. I think it lived up. Like it was definitely a game that I know I enjoyed. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it largely because Alabama State brought their band. That's just something we needed to have happen. Just to have that little bit of competition. But as the game goes, FAMU wins. Like I mean, that's honestly some of what y'all really care about. That's what you really want to know about. It's what you're looking at and what you're looking for. FAMU wins the game. It was a little rough, but at the same point, we'll go more into detail about like some of that tomorrow. But Musa delivered. I'll give him that credit. Like if you go back and you look at 4 quarters, Musa played a solid game. The team leaders, Isaiah Major. Yeah. Tomorrow's episode maybe just be called Major League. Like Isaiah Major goes off, 10 tackles, interception that seals the game, return for a touchdown. Brad goes crazy and everybody goes home happy. You can't ask for much more. In the first half, a lot of struggles. Offense kind of is what it is. Like we know what they are, and a lot of us end up saying the same thing about the offense. Like just run the ball, doc. But at the same point, going back looking at it, you can understand why Coach Simmons maybe didn't run the ball as much because you're running back fumbles, which can happen, and that's Coach Simmons. That's not me. But the other part of that is Musa fumbles. And so while he didn't throw a pick, he did fumble. And I'll give Jeremiah's credit. Jeremiah called 2 turnovers, but he did say, I met Jeremiah pregame and tailgate, and he was like, 2 turnovers. And Alabama State's quarterback gave us 1. FAMU actually gave us 2, which was like, dang. But at the same point, really, really, really good game. Attendance, I honestly, I wasn't in the box most of the game. It was a little packed. But it looks like I felt like it was a good like 19,000, 18 to 19,000. Let's see. 18,858. Look, I'm close on these. Good credit, good timing. Sorry. 23 to 10. My preseason prediction was 28 to 10. But before the game, they asked me, and I was like 24-14, like, because I couldn't remember if I did that 28 to 10 or not. But I did definitely remember that I didn't think Alabama State's offense was that explosive. Um, yeah, they dropped some balls though. Like if you're an Alabama State fan, and even when we were on the sidelines, kind of, you know, interacting with each other, that was the thing that they were saying. They were like, "Man, like this is the first game where I felt like the other team could justifiably say, and excuse me, opening my drink, it's a Pepsi, that they kind of beat themselves. They had a lot of drop balls, a lot. Um, yeah, it just wasn't it. And so, but didn't hurt my team. Like I know that's kind of mean to say, but it's the truth. Like in this case, I think benefited. So I mean, dropped just enough balls for us to win the game. But that was really kind of the tail of the tape there. FAMU opens up the game 7-0 in the first quarter, 14-3 at the half, and you were confident. You were confident, confident. That's not even a word. Confident, but kind of uncomfortable because it's like, man, we left some points on the board. Like we really could have done more than what we did with what we had. But at the same point, Musa looked okay. Like no turnovers. Like as far as like fumbles, I'm not fumbles, interceptions. He does have that one that gets called back, but you know, running game they looked okay at times. Big thing for me though, it seemed like man we missed those tight ends. So I felt like the week before we kind of found something, and I know kind of I was walking around tailgate, I talked to some folks, and they were like, we found something with that. I thought it was just me, and then we lost it. But they got a few balls thrown to them, but we ran out of some double tight packages. Man, that was nice. Like that was a good look. I could use some more of that. And we also saw a lot more Jamari Gassett. Like I've been kind of championing that kid. I think he's a dude. I think he's a dude. And that's something else that the coaches are seeing. And man, we got the ball to Riley in space. Definitely still trying to find a way to get Jamari Sheree the ball. But the other thing, man, it go. We saw where Manigo had some situations where he had some jump ball potential. And that was really cool to see, just to see like that part of the offense get opened up and to see that it's not just us, the fans, seeing that. It's the coaches seeing it, but also implementing it. That's something I need to see and something I want. Like I want to be able to say that FAMU football is taking advantage of the things that are in front of it. And again, going into halftime, 14-3, I was like, I'm not comfortable with this lead because, I kind of pointed out it's better when FAMU gets a lead because we can just withstand. But it was enough. Honestly, it would have been enough to win the game because we do win 23-10. But at the same point, man, that Alabama State defense was good. That dude Bubba, look, Bubba ain't got no shrimp, but Bubba got game. That boy was cold. Like, I was talking to one of the Alabama State guys on the sideline, and he's like, "Yeah, we're kind of concerned about him going to the transfer portal." And I'm like, "Me too," because that boy good. Like, Bubba was solid. Like, and their quarterback was better than I thought too. Like, if you're going back, honestly, man, he misses a few passes, but those receivers drop some passes. Like, that was one of the big things as far as the takeaway, just for somebody who's watching that game. Like, they dropped some passes. They dropped a touchdown pass, and part of that was because the quarterback did overthrow. But at the same point, it hit your hands. They dropped a couple passes, and going to halftime, honestly, that could have been neck and neck. But FAMU was very fortunate and was able to take advantage of the opportunities that were offered to them. Honestly, I mean, you can't get mad at me because I stole your girl. Like if you weren't protected, it's the game, bro. It's kind of like it was. Like I wasn't trying to steal your chick. She came to me. Like, hey, bro, you dropped the ball. I can't help it. Not my fault. You dropped it in the end zone. It just fell down, and look, now it's my turn. Hey, she belongs to me. It was kind of that vibe for the game, though. Like the game belonged to FAMU. Like I got Bobby by the pound, Whitney by the key, DJ Screw by the gallon. Look, the game belonged to me. Yes, I did reference Bun B and Pimp C, UGK for life. Anyways, but you can start to see like the miscues and the mistakes that Alabama State had cost them the game. And they added up and they really helped FAMU get the lead. And it doesn't hurt that FAMU's defense is FAMU's defense. That 2023 Dark Cloud defense, man, bruh. I'm here all day for that. Like, yeah, we were solid. And they only give up one touchdown all game. And it was fluky. Like, go back and watch the play. The ball gets tipped. and then the receiver catches it, and he's gone. It's like, dang. But without that fluky behind touchdown, this game really isn't close. It would have been 23-3. It would have been a firm 20-point victory. I don't know if FAMU covered the spread or not. Brian, help me out with that. But we did win the game. Shutout, really, first quarter and fourth quarter, FAMU stops Alabama State from doing anything. And then we get 9 points in the fourth quarter. We didn't score in the third. But I'll say this, and I'll go into more detail about this tomorrow when we do the Fangs Up podcast. HBCU Digital Network, 8:30. You know where we're going to be at. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, X, also called Twitter. But, man, offense, I was actually kind of impressed. Like, run-wise, meh. But at this point, my question is that just our offense? Like, not to be that kind of guy, but 2 years in a row, to me, is a trend. 59 yards rushing total. But at the same point, you get why. I get 2 fumbles. I'm not going to keep running the ball. Like, that's game. Like, I'm sorry. And without those 2 fumbles, they really don't get what they got. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just saying, like, I moved my leg a little bit on that. Sorry about that. But so 59 yards total rushing, 294 passing. Yeah. No picks for Musa. And look, let's go back and we'll check his completion percentage. Meh, about 60. Like, I think it's fair to say we know what we got out of Musa quarterback wise. He's about a 60% guy, accuracy wise, but we saw a lot of formation changes. We definitely saw offensively, FAMU got under the center quite a bit, and it seemed like to me it actually did help the offense. And then those routes that we ran, where the receivers were running pretty much a drag route across the middle, open all day and tomorrow morning. I mean, Alabama State finally catches on in the second half of the game. But, man, we were getting the ball into playmakers' hands in space, and they were able to do some things. It was nice. It was a beautiful situation. And hopefully we get more of that just as a fan. Like, I like that. I like the fact that we did run the double tight formation, and we got some yards out of it. It was pretty solid. I'll go back and double check and see because 59 yards, that does include sack yardage. Mostly loses 9 yards. Meh. So you still didn't break 100 either way. So it ain't that bad at all. So, but other than that, man, penalty wise, we were pretty straight really until the end of the game. Like the game gets chippy really at the beginning of the game. Like I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I'm gonna keep it a whole bean with you. Both teams was talking trash from the get-go. And there was one player in particular on FAMU's roster that they would want to talk all the chitlin juice to, the number 88. Man, that dude, I promise you, I was standing by the Alabama State football team. The second this brother gets to the fence for them to walk out on the field, 88, you ain't got nothing. 88, you ain't S. Man, they were riding Dixon hard. They was on that man, like, just trying to talk all the cash to him. And, I mean, did it work? I don't think it was really targeted that much. So, meh, one catch, 11 yards. K-Dot was the leader, though. Like, K-Dot has 72 yards, followed by Jeremiah Pruitt. So 4 catches, 60 yards. That's our tight end. I told y'all Gassett, 4 yards, 56 yards. Marcus Riley, seemed like they're kind of pulling back a little bit on that as much. Kamari Young gets 2 catches. So, that's six for the tight end room. I'm okay with that. Nothing for Gross. But, They did have a 100-yard receiver, though. Keyshawn Johnson. I don't know if his name is Keyshawn, give me the blessed ball Jackson, but you get my point. I'm petty. But he was solid, 8 receptions, and he had drops. Like, he had a couple of drops. So it was a good game, good vibe. If you went out there, man, you caught a great treat. A lot of fun. And then you got to see the return of David Manigo. And one of the things, especially near the end of the game, that FAMU ran, it was a similar play that FAMU ran in the spring game, where, and I got a video of it. I don't have it queued up, but they threw the ball to Manigo on the corner. And y'all know I'm petty, so I got to make sure that I actually don't have it. But the next play, Musa runs the ball. And so I pointed that out. I said, FAMU ran that game in the spring game. And then Musa ran the ball for the touchdown to win the game. How do I know? Because I'm petty. I'm petty. Like, I'm that kind of petty. I got a history degree, so I argue with facts. So, but real talk, like FAMU actually did run that play, and we started seeing that a little bit. And the other thing that I'm kind of wanting to see next with this goal line formation and some of this, whatever you want to call it, I want to see Nicholas Dixon on one side, Manigo on the other, and that way I got double jump balls situations. And give me one of the tight ends underneath, have mercy. My brother, my sister. All of a sudden, you got 6'3s and 6'1s and 6'2s across the board. That's a little fun on offense. And then heavens forbid you run the ball, because you can do that with like a double type formation. Then have your receivers out there, single back formation. You can either have, right now, give me Jennings, just because ball security right now, even though I still love you, but give me that. All of a sudden, man, you got to play where the defense got to be honest, because I can throw to the tight ends and they catch the balls. Let's come back here right quick, right fast. Pruitt, end of the game. Go back and watch the end of the game and see who Musa was looking for. It was Pruitt. He was looking for them tight ends, and I said that. I was saying in the show on Thursday, FAMU needs to utilize the tight ends, because Musa is a West Coast quarterback. And one of the things with him being a West Coast style quarterback, a lot of times the check down is the tight end. Well, when you're running out there and we're all these receivers, but no tight end to check down to, you can see that something doesn't compute, something is amiss. But when he does have that check down receiver, all of a sudden, security blanket. You're not there? I can dump it off. Oh, look at God, a blessing. Like, you can start to see that. And I think that's something that's cool. And I think that's something that helps Musa's stats. But the dude, the man, I told y'all Bubba was that dude. Like, I ain't gonna lie. And he did lead them. Colton Adams, 4 tackles, but major. They gave him 11 and an assist. This brother has 12 tackles. And he gets an interception. And he returns the interception for a touchdown. I told y'all in post-game, we got Isaiah Major. I told y'all, man, look, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted, and that's why I wanted it. Because, and I asked him, I was like, hey, Major, and no, if you don't believe me, go check the YouTube. Josh post the post game. What did you see on that play? I was the first person to ask. And he was like, I read my keys. That's what his response was. But he stated that Alabama State has shown that same play multiple times, and they kept dumping it off there. And I just followed my keys, and it led me to the ball. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, all nerdy junk. But real talk, like, I was like, that's what I want. That's what I need to see. Not only as a fan, but as a supporter of the program. Like I need to see the player development. Like that's player development on display, and that's something that's tangible. That's and the purpose for asking him that question because I've been around Major a few times. I knew he could answer the question. I knew he was smart. And so, and that's not saying other players are dumb. That's just saying I'm taking advantage of the fact that I know that this kid can give it to me. And so I asked him the question because I wanted him to spotlight his knowledge. I wanted him to show, just in case somebody's out there watching that's not familiar with FAMU athletics, like this kid studies film. But not only does this kid study film, he applies what he studied to the field. And all of a sudden, he gets results. In another week, where he's one of your leading tacklers, he previously this year had 9 tackles. This game, he has 12 tackles, and he has an interception. So he's your leading tackler, and he's getting interceptions. Come on now. Like, I'm not saying that he's going to the NFL, but I'm saying that this kind of play warrants professional discussions and is why I want to see a rotation of players post game. Give me Anthony Dunn sometimes. Like, give me some of these dudes. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for Bowler yet, just because I like Kendall. So, and I think I know if you got him on camera, he's going to do well. But his play, he's man, because he's got it. Like he's got it in him. But sometimes in our coverage, it felt a little soft. It just felt like we were a little soft. Now, continue with the defense, man. General Hunt, that dude's hurt, and he's playing like a man, a grown behind man. Like that was a sight to see. If you're a FAMUing, you got to love this defensive line, and you got to love the fact that we start seeing some blitzes from our linebackers. Like one of the things I pointed out, FAMU's defense sometimes has a tendency to be very passive and say, and we saw that, especially on that 2nd and 30. Man, I need a drink. 2nd down and 30, and they converted. What the heck was that? I don't know. We won the game, but still, yeah, bro. But it was just at the end of the game, you were kind of sitting there and you were like, cool. Like, was it everything I wanted? No. Could FAMU have scored more points? Absolutely. But defensively, and that dark cloud defense, them dudes like that. Like the linebacker core is just flying around. And again, we blitzed our linebacker. And it was a couple times, man, they shoot the gaps. Like, go back and watch the film on that game. And I ain't gonna lie, I stayed on the field the whole time. And part of it, I like staying on the field because I can see the throwing windows. Like, so I can kind of get a better understanding and be like, I see what Moose is seeing. Like, I get it. But the other reason, defensively, man, I like seeing how the defensive line and the linebackers interact with the offensive line. Man, we saw plays in times where the offensive line for Alabama State could do nothing. Absolutely. Like our linebackers on some of those plays, especially in the second half, they're blitzing and they're shooting the gaps. And I mean, you're literally seeing where the linebacker makes one step to the right and comes back, quick little move to the left, and he's on the quarterback, and the quarterback has no time. It was a thing of beauty. We saw multiple passes get knocked down, deflections. That is an active and engaged defense. Now, I will say this. That's probably one of the better receiving groups we're going to see in the SWAC, despite the fact they dropped a bunch of passes. But talent-wise, skill-wise, they were the size. Like, they had a 100-yard passer. And look, when our DBs got mossed, but I ain't going to say no names because I forgot it already. But it happened. But for the most part, the secondary is actually pretty solid. Like, Moss's not gonna happen. Like that, it's football at this point. But and I'm just going back to double check my stats, make sure I got it right. They had 289-yard passes passing. one pick. Like, okay. They were Moose were comparable. I'm just saying. One touchdown, fluke. I ain't gonna lie, about 60, 70 of those yards are part of that fluke play. It's closer to a real 200, but I'm not gonna be that petty today. But it was pretty solid, man. I mean, rushing. Okay. Now, Josh, I'm not challenging you, but when was the last time FAMU held a football team to less than 20 yards rushing? Because today, Alabama State had 14 yards rushing. The only reason they ran the ball was to keep us honest. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm keeping the whole bean. They ran the ball because they just wanted to keep the integrity of the offense. But otherwise, man, that jump wasn't working. You could left that store at the door. The running game was at the border. When you go back and cross, you can go get it. But against FAMU, wasn't happening. And some of the people on the sideline stated that the offensive line just wasn't there. But as far as talent, skill, preparation, all that good stuff. But in this case, yeah, that running game was dead. Now, special teams, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't that bad with it. Like, Coach Simmons probably tougher than me on that. Like, normally, y'all know I'd be giving it to him. But honestly, I was cool with it. Like, the punting wasn't the greatest, but yeah, I mean, it did what it did. Look, Musa got a coffin corner. If you want to kind of get a man in some stats. Musa got a punt inside the 20. So, that's a cool little stat to have, something to tell your grandkids about. So that was cool. The kickoff team, they did their job. Nothing spectacular. Like, I'm just going to say this for the kickoff team. You opened up the season with a kick return or a touchdown. Like, I'm like the kid from The Incredibles now. Every time we have a kick, I'm waiting on something incredible to happen. I'm literally sitting on the tricycle. Something incredible will happen. I'm waiting. Oh, it's a regular kick return. All right. Like, I'm sorry. Like, my perspective of what's supposed to happen is completely ruined because you open the season and it was like, what? Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Like, it was that kind of excitement. Like, so now it's just like, okay, average kick return. I do think we do a little too much dancing, though. Like, I'm with y'all on that one. Feel like we do a little bit too much side to side running. I would like a little more hit the hole and go, but I'm fine with that. The punt team, though, like I said, I was okay with the kicks, but man, that blocking still scares me, man. I ain't gonna lie. We had a couple of those. I was like, is this gonna get blocked? I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. Yeah. Kickoff team, man, early in the game, I was on that I told you juice. I was sitting over here like, told y'all the kick return team wasn't right. Mm-mm. 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 Nope. Told y'all that wasn't working. And it didn't. Early on, that kick return. It was like this first, second of the game. Whew. But it was right. Fortunately, we got some tackles. I will say on our punt team, though, man, and probably some of it just had to deal with the distance of the punts. Because at first I was noticing, like, man, because Tevin can fly. Tevin Griffey, that kid's fast. He was getting downfield, but he kept having to trail and follow the ball. Excuse me, and the ball carrier. And I was like, why? And then Willis Simmons stated that some of the kicks weren't where they're supposed to be. So I was cool with that, though. I'm like, okay. But our special teams, I'm cool with it. So, but overall, I ain't gonna lie. It was a good day, good night. Went to the volleyball game first, got there kind of late, but we won. So we did redeem ourselves from the night before. First family volleyball game that I can remember in forever that I've gone to. So that was cool. And man, the game experience, You're not gonna get this again until homecoming. So, but next game is against Valley. Hopefully, we fly to Jackson and just drive to Valley because that's an 8-hour ride. That ride's long and it sucks. Um, yeah, just being honest. I've done it before. I'm not even trying to be mean. Like I keep telling y'all, people of the Valley, that area, sweet as sugar, nice people. But that ride, man, that ride sucks. Then we got Southern and Texas Southern. So that game against Valley, we heard some of our players say that's the toughest game because it's just the vibe. But Valley's banned. Look, Valley got a band this year. It ain't them like 15 kids they had at Child's High School no more. They got a real band. Like, dang, they got like 300 kids. All right, y'all done moved on up like George and Wheezy, because them drum bammers y'all had before. No, like 10 people in the band. And they still was playing that one note Kobe was talking about. Wah! We had a little bit of that from Alabama State, but they actually sounded good. Like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. The halftime show, it was good. Like I told y'all, this was the game to go to. Homecoming, not gonna be this lit. Homecoming's gonna be lit because of the people inside and outside the stadium. But as far as like on the field product, not even close. All right, Couple things though before we get up out of here. Look, I need y'all to fix them blessed gates that lead to Perry Street. There is no reason that the gate should be locked. Come on, man. Like that's a part of the tailgate atmosphere, and it's especially and as an able-bodied person, I'm gonna speak for people who are less able-bodied. It's a pain in the neck, and it's probably an ADA compliance issue to have that thing blocked off like that. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I would bring that up because you literally have people sitting there waiting at the gate for like some people I saw some waiting for like 30, 40 minutes. Like, are they gonna open this gate? And they just never did. Like, I get it, maybe a security thing, and the past FAMU PD was parked there and whatnot, but it's a pain. Like, open up the gates on Perry Street so you can get to the vendors and everything else. Cause man, that fried fish I had today, bruh, man, look, I had to go in the field for two reasons. Because if I had stayed up there in the press box, man, I'd find me a corner and went to sleep. But sister girl put her whole leg in that thing. Sheesh, bruh. Yeah. And then, interest, I didn't hear of any problems this game. So I can't chastise you if I don't praise you too. And I did see my AD out there. She was on the cart. She was whipping it real hard, whipping it real hard. You got a charge. But she was out there and she was trying to make it the best that it could be. Field was a lot better too as far as just access stuff like that. It was a much better game. Like some of this is attrition. Some of this you're gonna learn through experience. And that was cool. And also, man, having those recruits come in, and it's probably a pain in the butt for Josh. But man, as a fan, having a volleyball game right before the football game was actually kind of cool. Like it was cool because it felt like you got a decent attendance, like a decent crowd. And especially if we could get Gaither fixed and get it straight for them, it's gonna create a nice atmosphere. So, but man, tomorrow, HBCU Digital Network, 8:30 p.m. We're gonna talk about kind of this game, get y'all ready for the next one, talk about the volleyball game and some of the other stuff. And we're gonna start looking at some of these recruits. FAMU had 115 recruits on campus. That means in the past 2 weeks, FAMU's had 215 recruits on campus. We had 2,000 freshmen on campus because it was family day and all that kind of stuff. It was huge. And look, this is the way. Do that again next year because you saw it in the turnstiles. So we're going to talk about some of these recruits that FAMU's offered, give y'all some names, try to pull up a little bit of film, get that ready. But we're also going to recap at this game and kind of, look at the notes a little bit more, So we're going to talk about it one more game. And, like Bible study. We talked about it one time, But then we're gonna do it one more game and kind of see, if I see anything different. But really, we're gonna try and delve into some of these recruits, like show y'all some of these kids, who FAMU's offering, who they've offered. And, if you got a little cousin Peanut, nut, little pistol starter, drop their name, the country is, let them know your cousin want to go to FAMU and he played good, he got good grades, he took all his tests, all that good stuff. So, but as we head out, man, shout out to HBCU Digital Network. This is home. Shout out to Herb Stewart and the Black Techies. Ain't nothing personal, bro. Just my Rattlers was better than your Hornets today, but I still love you. No weird stuff. But get ready, y'all. We're gonna see y'all, and it's always gonna be, especially when the Rattlers win, it's an instant reaction. Turn up. It's always gonna be Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey,